Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm sorry I missed the beginning of the offseason. That file is corrupted or gone. It's somewhere. I don't know where it is. But let's just get straight to the point. I'm back. I've been focusing on the wrestling, which comes on Tuesdays. I'm going to throw it on the screen. It comes on Tuesdays. And I'm about to start trying to do Thursdays, but for sure Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Make sure y'all check that out. It's going to be a big thing on this channel. But going to the draft for both these teams was kind of difficult because I wanted to make certain moves for one team and it ended up having to be a move for another team just because of the way things went. You had, you've already seen it. Cam Newton's the quarterback, and you don't see Matt Ryan. He was traded to the Steelers of all teams. They had just lost Big Ben, so I figured why not trade him? We get rid of his contract. We'll deal with the consequences later. Mike Davis still on the team. He's lost 2 speed, but he is coming off the best year of his career, nearly 2,000 yards. He's had double the amount of carries that he's ever had in a season. So, yeah. And as you just saw, Deontay Johnson, he's our wide receiver number 2. Receiving core right now isn't looking very hot. It's really just Calvin Ridley, maybe Deontay Johnson if he wants to have hands. We got him in a trade for Ben Roethlisberger. It was Matt Ryan in a first next year to get their first, to get the Steelers first this year and Deontay Johnson. Really and truly, I just wanted the first, and I figured taking a receiver would do good for us. Just we lost Russell Gage, we lost Zacchaeus, and I wasn't able to get anybody else in free agency because of the cap situation. Yeah, I kind of screwed that up, and I'm trying to just get through it. Just a heads up, there's going to be no preseason. At the time I'm recording this, I'm sitting at week 1 and I'm waiting to play. I wanted to get this out. I just kind of been, guess you could say I've been lazy on this because of the I've been wanting to do the wrestling bit, which is, depending on how the next wrestling game comes out, I might get it, I might not. But I've enjoyed creating people, downloading, and making things. But let's focus on this. John Kaminski, he's gonna be a starter this year. It looks like, based off the way everything's going. Yeah, he only had 8 tackles throughout the entire season. He was on the field. I think he did some good things. He clogged up the run a little bit. 3 tackles for loss. Grady Jarrett, it almost feels like he's regressed. Tackle wise, run game, I think he's good. But in the pass game, our defense suffered a lot. We have the worst passing defense, giving up about 4,008, almost 5,000 yards, so 4,800 yards. We're looking to change that, and I'm also going to drop the quarters to 12 minutes. I might try a 15-minute game just to see how things go for stat-wise, and other than that, everything else is going to be 12. But going to the draft, to help our defense out, and excuse all the Discord noise that you hear if that's coming through, but to help out our defense, the Falcons are going to have to elect Justin Williams, a pass rusher coming out of Washington. He's 6'6", about 270. He's a power rusher. Somebody to go on the other side is Dante Fowler. Did come on strong last year, but we need another pass rusher. This one almost felt like a no-brainer. I saw a receiver that ran a 4.24. I said, I need to get this. He might not have any other skills, but he has speed. If he can just get down the field and stretch it, that's something. He don't got to catch it. If he can just occupy space, I think we'll be fine there. As you just see, I skipped my pick. I did not want Reggie Rowland. If I'm honest, I didn't know what I was going to do there, but I was skipping ahead to get back to our pick. So now we have a safety, Reggie Rowland. With our next pick, we're going to take a QB in the 3rd round, Warren Wheatley here, who has great arm strength. He's a pocket passer. We don't know a lot about him. We know he has an arm. And after drafting the fastest receiver in the draft, why not? If there's a chance that receiver gets down the field, maybe this man can't hit him deep, I'll take it. But for a 23-year-old quarterback coming out of Middle Tennessee State, yeah, he's going to have a lot to prove. He's kind of a raw prospect, almost like a Josh Allen. So we took a Alex Lambs as safety. We're also going to take LaMichael Starks. He's going to be our fastest running back, more of a scat back here. Now that we have Mike Davis dropped to 86 speed and Quadre Olison being our power back, this next pick for the Falcons, we are going to trade it away, and we're just going to take picks next year, if I'm correct. I think, yeah, because right now this is 2022 draft, so we're just going to take picks next year, and we're going to, we might as well just get some more picks off the Steelers. It's kind of all this is for us. We're going to take another QB, Chris Colbert, as a why not, kind of scenario. Like, okay, cool. Just somebody else. He also has good arm strength, almost pulling what a former Washington Redskin team did when drafting RG3 and Kirk Cousins. So, I mean, why not? He's a guy that did get talked about in stories. He had arm strength. I wanted to get another QB anyways, just to try and spice things up in the quarterback room. But he's out of A&M. He got 70 speed on him. He's 6'3", he's 23, he's 224. So we got two 23-year-old rookie quarterbacks, and he's hidden dev, by the way. So, that might be able to do something for him. And with the last pick of the draft for Atlanta, the mystery relevant pick, as it's called, we get Trevor Newton. Another cornerback that might be able to help out in the secondary. He doesn't have the best man coverage, but he is a man cover corner overall. If we're looking at our overalls here, Justin Williams at the moment, 71 overall, 72 with the boost, 79 power moves, and 76 block shedding as a rookie. I think that's going to be great for the run game and as a pass rusher. He's already got 75 play recognition, so for a first-round prospect, this guy actually, I think this was probably like our best pick overall. Not looking at overall, but just like with potential. He's a guy that really, really shows up. Devonte Searight was definitely a guy that caught me way off guard because I didn't know where I was going to go with this pick. I might have drafted Warren Wheatley earlier. I might have drafted somebody else, but I saw 4.24 and was like, okay. He's already got 74 release with 80 deep route running and 83 spectacular catch. He can catch in general. He needs to work on the catch in traffic. He needs to work on other route running because, we want to have this receiver be able to do more than just run a deep route all the time. But for the most part, he can just fly down the field if we need him to. And he shouldn't be getting injured with 99 injury. Now, Reggie Rowland, this pick did surprise me because I did skip through. I'm going to change his number, by the way. But 89 speed, 74 zone. He doesn't have the hit power that Hawkins has, but just based on zone, really alone, maybe play rec, he could start. I don't know yet. We might put Hawkins more for special teams and still have a high role of playing because Hawkins really contributed last season. There were about four fumbles, 3 in one game that I can remember, where he was just lighting it up and got turnover after turnover for this team. So, I mean, why not still give him some playing time? Even if it's on special teams, I would love for him to be the gunner on punts or the fastest guy down the field on kickoffs. I'll take it. Warren Wheatley, though, 68 overall. He's about the same overall as Cam Newton. So we got something there. He can't run, but he definitely can throw. We got Alex Lamb here, 87 speed, 74 zone coverage. Now, he needs to work on intangibles, but for the most part, he could definitely start somewhere. I don't know if he would be starting for us, but he definitely could start somewhere as Richie Grant is still our starting safety. So I think he could do something. Great rotation player. Might be able to, cover up pretty well when it comes to certain situations of guys getting tired. We might not lose too much on the back end with backups being at a high enough level to go because the NFC South, that division is a pass-happy division. That's where I went through it. If you've noticed in all the games, yeah, there was the Panthers who did run a bit, but for the most part, everybody was passing. Yeah, Leonard Fournette ran, but everybody was passing for the most part. Tom Brady, 500 yards. Then you had Jameis Winston, about almost 600 yards with like 6 or 7 touchdowns. We're at shootout game of the first time we met the Saints. So, try to avoid that. Yards wise, yeah, we need help. Points wise, I think we still need help. Yeah, everything went better at the end of the season, but I think that was more contributing to the fact that a lot of teams couldn't have their starters because Madden doesn't know how to fix the fatigue. But Chris Colbert here, quarterback, he's only 58 overall. I think by the way things go, if this team has a lot of success, he might be the starting quarterback. He might be the QB to get a second contract if he develops right. Warren Wheatley might want a huge contract and we might not want to pay it type thing. I want to get away from that paying the big money to the QB, so we're going to figure that out when we get a chance. I wanted to get his number away from 2. I do respect Matt Ryan, but I want to get away from his contract as a business standpoint. And Trevor Newton here, 60 overall, 65 man and 51 zone. He's definitely a man type of guy. Off man coverage, if anything. He's not very agile, though, for a corner at 81. He's more of a I line up against you and you just want to run something deep, I'm going to cover you up type of corner. But if we're looking at the Texans, we're going to make that flip. Dwayne Haskins got signed, especially once I hit week 1. You'll definitely hear more about these. But this was more for a little QB competition and just for the fact that we needed a backup QB, Cam Newton. We had let him walk, tried to re-sign him, and no, I didn't try to re-sign him. We let him walk altogether. Didn't want to re-sign him. He was asking for money for another year, and the Falcons got a cheaper deal on that. In the running back position, if this flips over, because I guess I could talk about Dwayne Haskins a little more. But Davis Mills really showed his potential to be a starting quarterback in this league. I think he had a great season overall. Oh, there we go on running backs. Especially towards the end of the season, he played really well. But if we can get a run game, which is where the signing of Leonard Fournette comes in, I think Davis Mills will be a great quarterback, or at least a great field manager. Field general, my bad. But we signed Leonard Fournette to be the bell cow. We want Kerryon Johnson. He's still going to get plenty of touches, plenty of carries. But I want more for him to be in the receiving back role. Leonard Fournette, I want him getting like 20 carries a game. I want to try and do that. We did trade for Darius Slayton after Brandon Cooks was traded. Now, Brandon Cooks was traded to the Lions. We got a pick from them. And I don't know if we used it or not because it's been a minute since this, but we traded for Darius Slayton from the Giants. He was sitting at a number 4 receiver spot. No, he was sitting at a number 3 receiver spot. That also helps Kadarius Toney get into the starting lineup. He's Darius Slayton's faster and younger than Brandon Cooks, so we still got something there. Nico Collins, I think it was good at the beginning of the season, kind of fell off towards the end, didn't really do a lot, but he was sitting at like a 66 or 67 overall at the beginning of the season, so 5 attribute points, really good there. Anthony Miller definitely was our leading receiver last year, and we also signed John Ross, if not for anything else but being a deep threat, maybe to be a kick returner, and Jalen Camp, coming out of the same school as the great Calvin Johnson, will have a chance to play this year. I might end up practice squatting him and then signing him later on in the season, but I want to give him a chance. So there's that. We're kind of revamping the team a little bit with some of our signings and maybe some of these draft picks that you'll see a little bit later. I probably could have done it a different way, but I want to do one team at a time just to – it felt better to do it this way. But, as of right now, we just got 5 on the roster. Basically, this is going to be a run-heavy team or a run-first team. Yes, there will be situations where we're going to need to pass, but if we can avoid those situations altogether, we are definitely going to be running first. But flipping over to the defensive side now, Jordan Jenkins had a chance to be one of the top pass rushers in the league this year. Kind of got derailed by injuries, but he's definitely going to be our number 1 pass rusher this year, especially on the outside. We don't really have anybody else, if you ask me, or if you look around. Yeah, he 8 sacks. That's tied with his best season in New York, which afterwards he had a down season. So we're hoping that he doesn't have the down season part, but he did very well. He was on pace for 20. He had 5 in about 2 games, but he was on pace. He was on pace for 20 at one point, but being out for about 6-7 weeks total was really a killer for his season. We still have Charles and Minahu. I don't know if I'm going to re-sign him this offseason. I might let him walk or he might get traded. But 6'5" defensive end out of Texas. He is 280. He was originally a D tackle. I slid him out to end. Maybe he can help out with some of these edge rushes with Tennessee. He only had 1 sack, though. We didn't have him rushing the passer a lot. It was more Whitney Merciless checking in there when he was here. So he'll get a chance to be a pass rusher on this team now, especially on the outside. Maybe on the inside, depending on how the draft goes. But you have Jarrell Casey here that we signed to help out with the run game. We're going to have to address D-line and linebacker We're going to have to address everything in draft, but we're definitely going to hit that D-line. Excuse me, man. I just had a good burger. We're definitely going to have to address the interior D-line here. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's something that has to be done. So it will be done. As you can see, 77, 60, and then straight to the 60s. High 60, but yes, still 60. And Jarrell Casey is 32 years old. His stamina is not like all that high. We did sign him. Maybe, give us some insight on what the Titans do. Even though, like, it's kind of a different team. Maybe you can help us out on how they run their defense because it's still kind of the same defense from when you were there. But I was kind of just looking through, seeing what some of these D tackles had to offer. A few of them had 70 to like 70. Let me look real quick before I say it. Yeah, like 70 to 71 block shed, which isn't bad, but I figure like just looking at the way things are going, Derrick Henry ran for great yardage on us. Christian McCaffrey ran for great yardage on us. And it's not like, at least for McCaffrey, it's not like he had the best offensive line. They were just able to keep their blocks long enough that he sprung through, or the linebacker would just get blocked altogether, and we couldn't make a tackle. We couldn't catch him. He's too fast. So we did sign some linebackers in Kenny Young and Malik Jefferson, kind of helping out with speed and just first, second down, run stopping ability here. I think Malik Jefferson is who I meant to say, is a better run stopper than Kenny Young, but those we'll definitely see. Desmond King, where do I begin? It's nothing bad on him. We did re-sign him because I did like what he was able to do in a lot of situations. But he's a smaller corner. So we signed Trey Waynes to try and go up against these bigger body receivers that are just going to go up and try to moss. I want to have Desmond King more in a slot. I would love to have him just slot roll the entire season. He's not the fastest. He got outran a few times and then just straight up moss. So with Trey Waynes covering that number one, who probably will be the speedy guy, I'll definitely take my chances there. Lonnie Johnson staying there at the strong safety position. He changes his number back to 1 after Cam Newton leaves. But back to the draft, and we keep Justin Reed. But to the draft, our first pick is going to be Luke Stevens here at left tackle. He's not the best pass blocker. He is good at run blocking, though. At 6'7" and about 340 pounds, figured why not? We definitely can use this power blocking that you have here. We're going to slide him into the guard position, left guard to be specific. Now, it took me a second because I did tell you guys I was going to address a D tackle position. And Dalton Bozeman was a guy that really, really intrigued me. Like, he caught my eye from the moment that I think I learned he had a block shedding. He was on my board. But he has F injury. Now, I done found out after the draft, because I looked at several guys, F injury is anything below about 80. So he has F injury, and he has A block shed, B finesse move, and B power move. He's the total defensive tackle coming out of college, man. Like coming out of Oklahoma. Marco Allen is not a bad pick. Either B block shedding, B power moves, B finesse moves, and A play rec. But I don't know his injury. I at least know that there's a chance that Dalton Bozeman, if we take him, okay, yeah, he might be hurt. He might just be a first or second down guy. And we'll just keep him off the field at certain points. But I don't know certain injuries. And after looking for a while, I think I went to one more defensive tackle being Tremaine. I think that's Johnson down there. Scroll, man. Scroll. But I kept looking at Bozeman. The time is running out, as you can see, because I wanted some pressure. I know more by completion percentage about Marco Allen. I know he's coming out of the SEC, and I know that Bozeman's coming out of Oklahoma, but eventually, with no time left, I picked Bozeman. He's hidden dev. He has 88 strength to 77 speed. I'm hoping that an injury is something good or not a bad number. My next pick was going to be 6'3" corner out of Auburn, Grant Arsenault. Now, he's fast. We're going to have to work on the cover skills. It doesn't show you right now, but he has 75 man, I believe, 74, 75 man. But he'll be a good corner. He'll definitely be on the right side. So he'll be covering number ones, and Trey Waynes will cover number twos. But he'll be covering number two guys. usually a speed guy, so we might end up flipping things. Now, here's where I started looking at another defensive tackle because I definitely was like, I need one more interior lineman. I'm thinking of the future more at this point than the here and the now. I'm thinking about, okay, we're going to lose Drell Casey after this year. I already said in my head, unless he has like the year of a year, he's not going to get re-signed or he's going to retire. So I started looking around and I was like, I'm willing to pick like real early for somebody. Lamar Saxton, he's like 286. He's a defensive end, but I'm thinking he would be more like an Ed Oliver. And no offense to him, but like an undersized D tackle that definitely I feel could be playing on the edge a lot more. But I'm looking for the interior. Basically, what I'm trying to do is stop the Titans and the Colts from just running. The Jags, I think, had a good run game, but they pass a lot more. But I just want to stop these teams from running. I'm packing it all in for divisional games. But B finesse move and A power moves, I mean, we don't know his block shedding, but he could at least be a pass rusher. So we're going to take him at 85 strength and 77 speed. Now, he is 6'5", but he's only 290, so he is a little, I guess, undersized for D tackle with the way. No, he's a right size with the way some things are going. But next pick, it's going to be a linebacker, Miles Vincent with 90 speed, 81 change of direction, 88 acceleration and agility. He's a safety that definitely came down a linebacker. Great catching. He's going to be definitely a decent to good cover guy. But with that 90 speed, I'm figuring that he should be able to get somewhere if their D tackles do good. Our next pick is Jose Givens. Now, at the time, I kind of was just like, I want to see what we can do here. Basically drafted Nico Collins 2.0 right there, a damn near exact copy. I was looking to add in a free safety here. Now, the safeties in this class, after about the third round, weren't good. I didn't like what I was seeing. So I was looking for a corner that was at least decent. This guy had 4.4 to 4.41 speed. So looking at 92 speed, he's going to get moved to corner. And with our final pick, because we didn't have too many picks in this draft, we're going to take a fullback because we don't have one on the roster. We might as well lock one up for like 3 years, maybe 2 or 3 years. Maybe if we can get all 4, awesome. But this will definitely, I'm definitely picking a fullback here. That's all this is. This definitely will help out with things and help out with our run game. So definitely got to take a fullback here. I would rather have the top fullback, but I'm just looking around like, okay, this is somebody who's also going to get their hands on the ball. I want to have a power run game, like we're running on first and second down. We're only going to pass on third kind of offense. I want to sling it with somebody. I want to have to play hard-nosed football. I want you to have to go through everything in the power to stop us. But let's go take a look at our overalls here. Luke Stevens, I feel like the pick could have been better, but Dalton Bozeman and Grant Arsenault and Christian Buckley and Miles Benson, great picks. I feel like anything over like a 72 overall is a great pick. But Luke Stevens, we're going to have to move him in the guard. I would have let them at tackle and slid somebody else in the guard, but with the way his pass blocking is, he'll get beat on the edge all day. I don't care who it is, he'll get beat on the edge the entire day. Dalton Bozeman, though, big number 77, 304, 81 block shedding. I'm hoping that he's definitely going to become a star in the middle of this defense. He does only have 83 injury, which at the time, it was 79. He does get a +4 because of one of the coach packages. But him having like 83 injury, that actually did surprise me. I was like, okay, that's not bad at all. I can work with this. You can stay on the field. And he's hitting dev, so he's at least star. Luke Stevens also hitting dev, so he's at least star. Grant Arsenault hitting dev, so he's elite. Like, you see what I'm doing. You see what happened here is like this draft for the Texans, I think was really good in getting some stars. It's just in 4 years you have to pay him. So, and I do plan on making this go for at least another like 3 to 5 years. I want to get that far into it. But we're gonna move Christian Buckley here into D tackle because I want to see what his overall does, and it moves up to 74. Miles Benson is going to get moved to outside linebacker, so you know his overall is going to go up because of the way this game works. But we also had Jose Givens, Albert the fullback. It's just the way things are going. I'm going to change a number here. You know, I if I can change it and it looks nice, it will. But I think the Texans. I think the Texans got the better draft out of this. I think the Falcons got the better first rounder, and like the first 2 rounds. But after that, I really think the Texans took it over for the remainder of the draft. Yeah, the Falcons drafted a speedy guy, but the Texans signed a speedy guy. You can consider my play style the same on both teams, but I said it earlier. I was like, oh, I want the Falcons to have this great defense and be able to do all this, and I want the Texans to have this. Like, no, I need to have a run game with the Texans. That's the way this is going to go for this division. And the Falcons are going to have a just a good enough offense to put up points on the board. The Texans are going to have to go back to their ways of having a good enough defense to keep points off the board. We'll be building up the offense here as soon as we can, but for the most part, this was a defensive-heavy draft for the Texans. I'm not even mad at it. I was truly surprised with the way this came out, but we're in a negative on cap. I will see you guys for week 1 against the Titans for the Texans and the Bucks for the Falcons. But that's pretty much it. I hope that you guys do enjoy this. I'll see you guys later.